I start here with one project we did a few years ago. I will just present it shortly because it was a long project and it's not chronologically. This project actually we started in 2004, I think, and we ended in 2008, more or less. It was a very, very long project. This is where I'm coming from, and this city is a small city in the mountains really near from France, from the French border. And this city is between Basel and Geneva, exactly in the middle of the watch industry region. And just a brief history is that in this region, the farmers moved to the countryside, and during the winter, because there was a lot of snow during the winter, they had to work because they couldn't go on the field. So the watch industry delivered the small pieces of watches, and the farmers used to build the watches during the winter. So this tradition came along the years in this region. And in the 80s, as I was still a teenager, in the 80s, the economy, the watch industry and the economy broke down because one big reason was the concurrency of the Japanese watch industry. And the economy breaks down, and on the other side, of course, a lot of people left this small city. And the city shrinks within 10 years, 1/3 of the inhabitants, or around 1/3 of the inhabitants left the city. So they had, of course, huge problems because they lose a lot of taxes, but also they had a huge problem because the city were losing its identity, but also we became a kind of city where everybody is passing by, but nobody is stopping. So they asked me in 2003 or something, they asked me to redesign a brochure, or to make a brochure for an advertising brochure for the city. And I said, it doesn't make any sense to make an advertising brochure for the city. You have first to change a lot of things before making an advertising brochure. And then they decided, based on that feedback, they decided to create a commission to make an investigation about what must be changed so that people are coming back to the city and new inhabitants are moving in. And this process takes 1 year, and after this they decided to commission us to make the redesign of the city. So this is the background of the story. But this is a very long story with a lot of stories behind that, but I will do it shortly. Make the redesign for the visual language of the city. It's something that actually a graphic designer had once in his life probably, and this is, I hope not, for me, but still, this was really something not ordinary, and it was of course a huge task to do, and the first thing we decided is for them to be able to communicate was to create a font. And this font should, because for us, the idea was that through the fonts which we designed or redesigned in this case, the administration could already start to communicate just with the font as a new communication tool. And as you can see, we take inspiration from this typical industrial typography language, and we take the loops from a Swiss type designer, which is also a font which is adapted from an English cut, and we take the loops and we transform the loops to create the Chamnon loops, which, as you can see, this is the loops, and we made some changes to try to bring this industrial and take it from the watch industry, the small details into the typography. One other thing, I'm going quick, otherwise I would spend too much time, but another thing was the emblem of the city. the very interesting thing is that in Switzerland it's the same in Germany. I heard that because we were invited to redesign the logo of the city of Stuttgart. It's a design competition. We don't know if we won we will get an answer Friday if we won the competition or not. But because of this project, we were invited to make the redesign of the logo of the city of Stuttgart, and it's exactly the same principle that actually the emblem of the city is the visual sign, but what is saved officially is it's a text describing the sign. And because the text is existing, it's very good for designers and for the future, is that you can adapt the sign through the different years. So what we did, it was very important that this emblem was everywhere in the city. So we decided actually based on the font to redesign firstly the emblem of the city. So we take the font we redesign and take the basic elements to redesign the emblem to create then here this is the it's not a heart, it's a linden leaf to recreate the three linden leaves. So from the typography we adapted, as you can see, the linden leaf to recreate the emblem of the city. So it was firstly we had the font and then the emblem of the city redesigned. But based on that, we did, of course, an outline version for several applications. And based on that, we actually wanted to use the potential of identification which is hidden into the sign to create a new logo for the city. So we take these three linden leaves, we turn the middle one and change a little bit the form of the middle one to create the TR for the name of the city, Hamon. And with that, we had a single logo which is working on itself, as well as logo types. And this was the basic elements we create for the city. Another thing which was very important, because Hamon got not any touristic attractions, we had to develop a whole visual language. So that's why we decided to, because there is nothing to portray except, of course, the inhabitants. So we decided to portray the inhabitants of the city to use them in the communication. And of course, nobody wanted to be portrayed, so we started with the employees of the municipality, and this was, of course, this was an employee of the city, but here this is the mayor of the city, and we staged her on a stage because she was playing theater during her free time, and she accepted also to pose and to be portrayed for the. And then after that, we approached the industry, we portrayed some people from the industry, or here different people, so that we managed to create a whole database of the inhabitants of the city. And these inhabitants were taken during their jobs or during their normal daily life. Another thing what we've done is take from the cultural industry, or the culture of the industry of the city, take some elements directly from the watches. We inspired from that, we created gravure, I don't know gravure en français, stitching, engraving, exactly. And this engraving is made so that you can use it as a wallpaper, as you can see here on the website. And here actually you have all the elements grouped together. So this was a radical, and as you can see also the visual language was black and white, and it was a radical transformation also of the former visual language that was existing before. And the radical use of the black and white imagery was also to be able to make a difference with the other cities of the same region, communicating also with brochures and on the website, so that it was very clear that Hamon had always this really straight and really powerful imagery with black and white. The images were photographed by which is a Swiss photographer and artist. We worked with him also in the past. I can tell you more after that. So during the years, we adapt this system to the whole system of the city. As you can see, and it's still being implemented now in the city in different. This is one publication we've made, several publications we've made for the beginning of